dudes and dudettes. How are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to Cinema Chazzy, the segment on this channel where I review the many movies that I watch over the years, whether they're old or new or modern or classic. I'm aware some of those words are synonyms, but I still say it because it's my intro and I'm way too used to it to change it now because I am stubborn and the thing with the stuff and whatnot. Anyway, I have been doing a lot of baseball related content lately, and you guys maybe saw, maybe you didn't see my last review covering A League of Their Own from 1992, and since then I have also reviewed the 2022 reboot series of that movie, and today I'm going to be doing yet another baseball related movie, not as good as that one, mind you, but I still enjoy it a lot, because it's a romantic comedy starring Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon, and it is fever pitch, I really like this movie, despite it's like, because I'm a 90s kid, so a lot of the movies that I consumed and enjoyed, throughout my youth was in the early to mid 2000s, and this one was really cool, and it was released in 2005, right there in the middle of that little time frame there, right? And funny story, this movie is actually a remake of the 1997 British film of the same name, which itself is an adaptation of the 1992 novel of the same name, but on those two occasions, it was actually covering soccer, or as the Europeans say, football, but, because they were trying to aim this towards an American audience, a USA market, they changed it to baseball, which does make sense, I don't think Americans were very big fans of soccer back then, but anyway, so this movie was directed by the Farley brothers, Peter and Bobby, and it was actually very entertaining and was moderately successful because it had an initial budget of $30 million and went on to gross $50.5 million at the box office, So me personally, I thought it was actually very enjoyable. I think it aged very well. It didn't age like wine, mind you, but it also didn't age like milk, I think it's very enjoyable today, And what I think is really cool is how they remade that Boston Red Sox World Series championship run in 2004, which was actually highly anticipated, by when this movie was in production. So I think it's nice, very interesting themes, and I'm a sports nut, so I enjoy seeing anything related to sports and movies, especially if it's a rom-com, and I love Drew Barrymore as well. So yeah, this movie really did have a little bit of everything for somebody like me, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the plot, what happened, and I'm going to try to summarize it for you guys as best as I can. But before that, let's take a look at a clip here from the movie.
This guy has got such a good vibe. I really think you've got something here.
Me too.
Something's not quite right.
Robin, there's a reason this Ben guy is still single.
I'm really gonna take a chance now. Lindsay, will you go to opening day with me?
Yes.
I really hope 20th Century Fox never sues me for copyright infringement or anything of the sort, Come on, guys, my videos aren't even monetized. I don't make money off of your stuff, and even if I could, the money would go to you. Like, I would be able to run ads, but the revenue would go to you guys, so please just chill, okay? Don't take my channel down. I love talking about movies. So anyway, it starts off with Ben Reitman, played by Jimmy Fallon. As a kid, his parents are going through a divorce, so he goes with his uncle Carl to Fenway Park to watch a baseball game, and he falls in love with the Boston Red Sox, 23 years later, he's still a diehard fan, and he has inherited his uncle's season tickets, he doesn't miss a single game, and he goes even to training practices with his friends to see the team play. They run like little mock drafts, maybe they have a fantasy baseball team as well, I don't really know, but it's all about, being a crazy fanatic. Everything in his house is Red Sox merch except for the toilet paper, which is the New York Yankees, because, well, they're their biggest rivals, right? So it does make sense. So eventually, he's working as a school teacher, and he goes on a school trip to a big corporate office where he meets Lindsay Meeks, and somehow there's a spark between them. Lindsay, played by Drew Barrymore, somehow they hit it off, and then they start dating. It's just, she is so out of his league that it's ridiculous, but movies gotta move, rom-com, it's gotta do the thing, right? So then eventually, she doesn't know anything about baseball or the Red Sox, but at first she finds his obsession kind of cute, but then she starts to see just how, deep it goes. And he did say he's a diehard Red Sox fan, he takes it very seriously and whatnot, and at one point she starts going to the games with him to try to bond with him, but because she's due for a promotion at work, she has to work, so she even takes her laptop to a game at one point, and then there's a line This is actually kind of cruel to laugh at, but there's a line drive foul ball that hits her right in the forehead and knocks her out. In real life, it would probably kill somebody, you know. She recovers but doesn't go to the games for a while, you know. And then eventually she invites him to go to Paris to bond a little bit more, get to know each other and get all freaking romantic, you know. And he's like, well, but the Red Sox are in the middle of an important pennant race. I don't want to go and whatnot. But then she says, well, I might be pregnant. You might be a father. So you got to, you know, let go of the Red Sox for a bit, you know, and focus on the little tiny Red Sox for your baby's feet or whatever. That was a really bad analogy. I don't know where I was going with that, you know. But anyway, so later she calls him, confirms that she isn't pregnant, you know, and he's like, okay, well, whatever, I'm gonna prove to you that I'm not obsessed, you know, because there is a Yankees game, there is a Red Sox game against the Yankees, and he misses it, you know, to prove to her that, you know, he's not that obsessed and he cares about her more. So they go, you know, he has a really good night with her, they make love and stuff. However, that game turns out to be one of the most historic baseball games in history, because the Red Sox come down from a 7-run deficit to win the game, and he gets really peeved, you know, that he broke it, that he missed it, so he blames her for it. She gets heartbroken, you know. It was crazy, man. Sports fans, and me being one myself, I know how important it is, you know, to watch a game like that, so whatnot. So anyway, he tries to reconcile with her, and to prove again his love for her, he plans to sell his uncle's season tickets, you know, much to the chagrin of his friends. They don't want him to do it, you know, but he's like, no, I gotta show that I love her, this and that. But then she actually finds out, and she races to the game to stop him. She actually runs on the field all the way to him and says, you know what, no. She tears up the contract that he was gonna sell the tickets and rips it up, you know. She tears it up and rips it up. Wow. Yeah, she grabs it and rips it up, saying, you know what, if you love me enough to do this, I love you enough not to let you do it. So then they kiss, but she gets arrested. She gets, because she ran onto the field during a baseball game, you know, so she goes to jail. But it's still pretty very lukewarm moment, you know. So yes, then there's the epilogue, you know. The Red Sox win, they against the Yankees, yada yada yada. They eventually get married, they have a kid, you know, and well, they show all of their kids, you know, and their friends in the end saying, let's go Red Sox. So rom-com being a rom-com, everything worked out in the end. I thought it was really cool. Very lukewarm, very nice, heartwarming theme all throughout, you know, a good atmosphere. And now before I talk a little bit about the production and whatnot, let's take a look at another clip here from it.
Can you believe this pinhead?
She knows he's devoted.
This Red Sox thing, it's an obsession. I know, it's just that I hate when it becomes... Oopsie.
But she's about to discover.
They're sending me to Paris to close the deal. And I am taking...
What? Just how committed he really is.
We're 2 games out of first with 3 weeks left, you know, but this is when they need me.
So first, let's talk about the casting, right? We have, like I said before, Jimmy Fallon as Benjamin Reitman, you know. I am not that big of a fan of Jimmy Fallon as an actor. I prefer him as a talk show host. But then again, I think I've only ever seen him in this movie and that Taxi one, you know, with Queen Latifah. So very small sample size, but still, he was okay in this one, you know, very, just, I don't know. But anyway, also we have Drew Barrymore as Lindsay Meeks, you know, the dedicated corporate executive. Drew Barrymore was on fire in the mid-2000s, man. That woman could do no wrong, whether it was romantic, drama. Did she ever do any dramas? I don't remember. But anyway, so then we have James B. Sicking as Doug Meeks. I don't remember who that is. Oh no, I think it's her dad. No, it's probably her father. Her parents showed up in the movie as well. And Jo Beth Williams as Maureen Meeks, who I am imagining is her mother. You know, her parents do show up at one point. Then we have Jack Kindler as Al Waterman, who was also the narrator, one of Ben's friends, I presume, you know. And also we have, what a fancy name, Scott H. Severance as Artie. Sounds like a reverend's name, holy fruitada. And then we have Lenny Clark as Uncle Carl, who we see at the beginning, you know, who took Ben to the Red Sox games, you know, bought him a book and souvenirs, and he became a really quick fan, you know. Then we have Leon, is that an I or an L? It's an I. Ion Sky as Molly. I do not remember who the hell that is, you know. I've seen this movie a few times, but the last time has been a while, so I don't remember exactly who they are. Siobhan Fallon Hogan as Lana. What is with these names, dude? Okay, so this next actress I know, Cadiz Strickland as Robin. I think she might have been one of Lindsay's friends, you know. The details elude me there. Then we have Marissa Jarrett Winokur as Sarah. Why don't you say who these people are, man? You know, it's just saying the generic names or whatever. Evan Helmuth as Troy. So you just go ahead and take that as you will with the Battle of Troy and whatnot. And Zen Gisner as Steve. Steve from Blue's Clues, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember who these characters are. Jackie Burroughs as Mrs. Warren. I also just don't really understand how that is. There were a few cameos, but I'm gonna skip those and just talk about the actual actors, you know. We have Willie Garson as Kevin. I also don't really, I'm pretty sure these guys might have been the friends who were around Ben, you know, the Red Sox fanatics, you know. Armando Riesco as Gerard, you know, probably also a friend of Benny there, you know. Why did I just call him Benny? That sounded weird. And then we have Brett Murphy as Ryan. Again, no details there. I'm literally just listing off the cast names written down here at this point. And finally, we have Andrew Wilson as Grant Wade and Patrick Lyons. I guess he plays two different characters. There were some Boston Red Sox personnel who made appearances, you know, like players and announcers. That was really cool too. Now here's the funny part behind the production, right? The original plot assumed that the Red Sox would lose in the playoffs against the Yankees, but they managed to stun the baseball world by winning 4 straight games to win that American League Championship Series, you know, and move on to the subsequent World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals. They were the first MLB team ever to win a 7-game series after losing the first 3 games, you know, so nobody expected that, you know. The Yankees had it in the bag. They finally won the World Series to break the curse of the Bambino. So, you know, the ending of the movie had to be rewritten because of that, you know. So, you know, on the day of Game 4 with the Red Sox on the verge of a sweep, you know, the directors wanted to bring Barrymore, found in a film crew there, you know, a few hours before the first pitch. So they attended the game in character, you know, at Busch Stadium. So when you see them there in the movie, they were actually there watching the real game unfolding, you know. Now, when the Red Sox made the final out to secure that 4-0 win over the Cardinals, that eventually broke the curse, you know, the Fox cameras on the live broadcast actually saw, you know, they caught Barrymore and Fallon, you know, in character, running onto the field and kissing to celebrate. So that was also real. That wasn't staged. That was the actual Red Sox celebrating that World Series win, man. So that's why I love sports movies, man. It's just so awesome. Now, the movie with the updated ending, you know, was actually screened at Fenway Park, you know, the following August, you know, at a screen there. So it actually premiered on April 6th, you know, 05 in Boston there. And then 2 days later, it got its theatrical run, you know. So I just thought that was really cool. And man, freaking Red Sox, dude, you know, I don't support them, nor do I support the Yankees, but it was fun to see this movie, you know. I'm going to go into the final stretch now, talk about my personal review, but before that, another clip here if I can get you one.
At what point do you say to yourself, I'm counting on you to be the one, and I have no fallback plan?
It's not another woman. It's an entire team.
She wants me to give this up?
You love the Sox. But have they ever loved you back?
Who are you, Dr. Phil? Get at it. Go hit. Go swing the bat.
Now, mind you, this movie was not a home run, but it was a run batted in. See what I did there? Yeah, no, okay. Only baseball fans will get that very cringy dad joke, but I really did like it a lot, man. You know, it has a very unique charm to it, you know. And when I watched it the first time many years ago, I wasn't as big into sports as I am now. Although I'm still an up-and-coming fan of baseball, you know, if you can even call me a fan. I'm trying to understand how it works, you know. Maybe one day I'll even watch it if support a team. But now watching it many years later, knowing how sports work and loving it much more, it did resonate better, you know. But the on-screen chemistry, you know, with Barrymore and Fallon was just unprecedented, to be honest, you know. Barrymore at that point was already a seasoned actress, you know, and Fallon maybe had a few roles under his belt, you know. Not really familiar with his filmography, but I did like it a lot, you know. It wasn't like a perfect, flawless movie or anything different than A League of Their Own. That movie was just perfect in my opinion, but it had some really good appeal, man, you know. And being a fan of sports myself, who at one point throughout my previous relationships did go through some similar turmoil, you know, like for example having to choose between going out with your girlfriend and watching an important sports game that your team is going to play. I've been through that, you know, and unfortunately it didn't always end well like it did in the movie, you know. In real life there are no happy endings all the time, so I did have a few stressful moments there, you know. While I have also been on the opposite end, which is having a girlfriend who is into sports, so she's understanding and even sometimes watches the games with me, you know, so it kind of played on that as well. But the point is that I can relate to Ben, you know, in the movie. I know how it is, and it's really nice. It's a very good twist on that story, you know, of a guy in love with the girl but also in love with his sports team, you know. So it's like, who do I choose, you know? And if I'm gonna choose today, who's gonna come first, right? So playing around with that was really cool as well. And personally, this guy with the motorcycle is freaking, it's like he wants to annoy me, man. My God, it's like he's driving around driving around in circles around my neighborhood. But anyway, so I thought it was really nice, you know, very simple cinematography, good principal photography as well, a very easy plot to follow, right? Very good lukewarm themes, family friendly, relatable, so the everyman, even if you don't like sports, you can enjoy it. If you're not a fan of baseball or sports at all, you can still watch this movie and enjoy it because it is still at its core a rom-com, you know, and American rom-coms in the early to late 2000s, man, they were the best in my opinion, you know, couldn't make any better ones if you tried. The 90s were a little meh, and the 2010s were kind of but like the 10-year period between 2000 and 2010, man, that's when the best rom-coms happen, and this one is no exception. I really like it a lot, and I am going to give it my personal rating of 8 out of 10, you know. It's not perfect, you know, but the execution was very solid. I did like it a lot. There were some moments that felt a little bit cringy and over the top, but when you have Jimmy Fallon, that's expected, you know, even on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, or is it the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon? I forgot what it's called. Even there, he's a little, you know, cringy at times, but still, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Very good outing, you know. And yeah, well, I liked it, you know. If you've never watched that, I definitely recommend it. But if you ever want to go back and watch the remake, the original that it's based on, well, just know that it's going to be about soccer, right? And on that occasion, you know, that movie actually focused on Arsenal's last-minute league title win in the final game of the 88-89 season, you know. So, I mean, yeah, I think that the way that they made this one was okay. I hope they never remake it, you know, or do a sequel, because Hollywood has this habit lately. You know, they're probably going to take this movie and make the two lead characters gay or lesbians or something. I just really just don't, okay? Don't do what you did with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That was just unnecessary. Because not LGBT, but they remade the movie and now they have a reboot series with a black guy and an Asian woman in the lead. Why, dude? But anyway, controversy aside, let me know in the comments below what you think, what you thought about the movie, if you've ever watched it, you know, if you liked it, didn't like it, what was your favorite part about it, you know. The soundtrack was also really killer, you know, maybe you prefer that instead of the actual everything else. But anyway, guys, oh yeah, also, if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like. Oh, by the way, if you didn't watch this movie, maybe it's a little bit too late now to say spoiler alert. Maybe it's a tad bit too late now, but there it is anyway. Ow, my glasses. And if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time I upload, and it's all good. It is all good. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the final clip if there is one, and then the outro screen.
It's only a game.
What did you just say?
She said it's a crying shame. And start moving towards the door.
Fever Pitch.
You want a family, Frank? One, please.